Welcome back, our viewers. We discussed in the first segment the United States interest in this region. Then in the second segment, we discussed Pakistan's interest in this region. Peter Belly explained in detail, in depth, as to what are the United States' interests in the region, and Mr. Zafar explained in detail as to what are Pakistan's interests. And in both of these interests, what we see common is the security of the region, the security of both of these countries, the national security interests, and the economic development. In terms of Pakistan, the domestic economic development. In terms of the United States, getting route from Karachi all the way to the Central Asian Republic for getting into business in the Central Asian Republic. So those are the interests here. There is nothing beyond those interests. And in keeping those together, how could Pakistan and the United States work together? How could we bridge these gaps? How could we develop confidence between the people of both of those countries? What we are doing today is we are working on ad hocism. And what does that mean? Is we are buying time. Okay, government X is here in Pakistan. We should keep on supporting them, even though the situation in Pakistan on ground is going towards destability. The country is being destabilized. Corruption is rampant. Crime is there, is everyday's business. But we keep on supporting a government because we feel that it is United States' interest that we should not damage the supply line to the troops in Afghanistan. And because of that, the US policymakers are working on ad hocism, supporting it. Now, this is not a permanent solution to the region for US interest and for regional interest. In terms of Pakistan, Pakistan is trying to get the United States help in getting World Bank loans, International Monetary Fund loans, and Pakistan is going in deep into loans. For example, dear viewers, at the time when Musharraf left, the foreign exchange reserve of Pakistan was somewhere in the vicinity of $17 billion. The loans towards Pakistan were somewhere in the vicinity of $38 billion. That means the net result was a minus $21 billion into Pakistan's treasury. Today, after 3 years of Musharraf's government or 4 years of Musharraf's government, the reserves are at $18 billion and the loans are at $58 billion, which means a minus $41 billion in the deficit in the reserves of Pakistan. So 21 gone to 41, it's twice as much loan, as much burden into Pakistan's economy in 3 to 4 years. If the United States policymakers keep on supporting just on the pretext that it is democracy and it is democratic government to be promoted as what Obama administration thinks, but this democracy is not delivering, or there needs to be some improvement in this democracy to bring a stability to the region. This is not going to bring a stability because the chaos, because of economic deprivation in the society, would bring something new. The United States is not ready to take that new chaos in the region. And in order to do that, we need to come out of the ad hocism of a policy. And the same thing with the Pakistan security agencies. They have to watch and keep an eye as to what is making Pakistan insecure. Pakistan has to be secured, and those are the mandate to the security agencies of Pakistan. Are they doing what they are supposed to do, or what are the deficiencies and demerits, and what are the pitfalls? Now, in order to sum up the whole debate, I will ask our guests here as to what solution do we have and what should we suggest to both sides of the Atlantic to bring stability in the region? Peter.
Well, firstly, Pakistan has got to create Pakistan, and that requires people realizing that Pakistan has got to be lifted up. That means that you cannot blame your problems on other people. That is useless. And throughout history, simple solutions like it's all the Americans' fault has never worked. It's clearly not. Pakistan must create within Pakistan, which requires education, input. For instance, security must never be the dominant feature in the upliftment of Pakistan. Never ever. Or, for that matter, America's input into the region. Military is not the answer. It's only a factor. And that Pakistan must create a social movement for Pakistanis. That whatever anybody does, if it's good for Pakistan, we will go for. Not anybody else's fault, etc. As regards the Americans, they've got to realize, as you pointed out, that hearts and minds are the name of the game. This is a long-term solution. There are going to be hassles in the meantime, but perseverance is the way. They can, for instance, they also react with aggression against perceived wrongs in the region. For instance, trade with America. Pakistani textiles are biased against from some long-term outdated Georgia cotton growers' concerns. So Pakistan's products, instead of borrowing money, they should allow us to compete openly. Now, transparency is the game.
Pakistan's natural reserves should be exploited. Pakistan's natural reserves should be promoted, and those type of government in Pakistan should be promoted who have a desire to do something in Pakistan.
That's why it will require.
And that's how American perception would change amongst the masses.
Indeed.
The masses, what we see today, ladies and gentlemen, what they perceive about the American policies here is that American policymakers are promoting governments which are not in the interest of a common man. That's a big question mark. I'm not talking about the present government, I'm not talking about the previous government. Successive governments. The policymakers, if they want to change the sentiments of the masses in Pakistan, they have to display that yes, here we have a government where international players are supporting the government, which are using the natural resources of Pakistan to benefit Pakistan, to get rid of debts of Pakistan, to improve the living standards of Pakistani common man, to bring the prices down, to bring the reserves of the Pakistan banks up. Those are the things that has to be exhibited, and how that can be exhibited by putting the right people, promoting the right people in this country and extending help to them. Now my question towards you is, to you, Mr. Zafar, as to what message would you give to the politicians, to the leaders in Pakistan, as to what deficiencies do they have? When there is a price hike, they blame America. When there is any law and order situation, America is blamed. Is that true? Or is there something else? And when they go to the people in the United States, they give a different story. So how could we get rid of this hypocrisy and deceit?
It's quite clear that the channels through which the American aid or the American money has been pumped into this country have proven to be dysfunctional. They haven't
come into the right hands.
They haven't delivered. So therefore, my suggestion would be to explore new channels of aid and people-to-people contact, new channels of people-to-people contact, outside the established classes of politicians here. They have to be outside this, because they
May I add one thing for our viewers? President Clinton came for a few hours at Chaklala Air Base at the time when Musharraf took over power. And dear viewers, the reporters from the press asked President Clinton as to what could be the best solution for Pakistan. And Mr. Clinton said that the best solution I would advise you is bring Pakistani Americans who have served the United States in bringing our economy, our society at certain level. And if you bring those experts here back into your country, the dynamics of this country would change.
That could be one channel. That could be other. The other could be find out people here, but outside the established classes. That would change the, you know, this.
Yes, yes, Peter.
You've got to be careful. Are you then fermenting rebellion? That's an important consideration.
Yes, yes. If you do not attend to the problem at this point, then we are calling a rebellion here, and that may not be able to be controlled by the international players.
Correct.
So there is a big warning here that better put things at the right place today before the water levels get high.
Correct.
And dear viewers, let me give you something from Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson said that no one would be able to win war. There would not be any loser. There would not be any winner. And if there would be one, it will be all losers in a war. America need not to win a war. America needs to win the hearts and minds of the people. And this is our suggestion tonight to the United States policymakers and to the Pakistani population. We need not to win any war. We need to win the hearts and minds of the people on both sides of the Atlantic. With this note, thank you very much, our viewers, to be with us. We'll be back next week. Thank you.